Rachel Zegler had it all. Handpicked by Steven Spielberg, crowned by Disney as the next Snow White, and launched into stardom faster than any young actress in recent memory. She was supposed to be untouchable, the industry's golden girl. But then, she opened her mouth. What followed wasn't just a few PR slip-ups. It was a spectacular Hollywood downfall filled with clashing egos, political firestorms, behind-the-scenes meltdowns, and a fairy tale career that imploded in real time. Let's rewind and see how Rachel Zegler burned every bridge on her way up and on her way down. Rachel's rise was the kind most actresses can only dream of. At just 17, she was chosen by Steven Spielberg to star in West Side Story, a role that had the weight of cinematic history behind it. Critics called her the next big thing. Hollywood rolled out the red carpet, and Disney, always hungry for a new princess, tapped her to lead their live-action Snow White reboot. It was a dream pipeline, Oscar bait to fairy tale royalty, but fame has a funny way of exposing who people really are. And according to people on set, Rachel didn't exactly carry herself like a newcomer with something to prove. Landing a Spielberg film should have been the ultimate masterclass, but insiders say Zegler wasn't interested in being taught. Spielberg reportedly had a clear, emotional vision for Maria, classic, romantic, faithful to the original. But Zegler? She allegedly pushed back. Hard. She wanted to make Maria modern, more independent, more empowered, and less Spielberg. Sources claimed she constantly challenged his direction, insisted on reshaping the role, and clashed with him during rehearsals. The tension became so bad, insiders say Spielberg privately told colleagues he'd never work with her again. This wasn't just youthful ambition, it was arrogance. And it wouldn't be the last time. While West Side Story was still in production, a new storm began brewing, this time around Zegler's ethnicity. Some studio insiders reportedly questioned her background after her casting as Maria. They allegedly asked her to confirm her Latina heritage behind closed doors. It was messy, it was awkward, and it created serious tension between Zegler and the people cutting the checks. Instead of calming the storm, Zegler doubled down, making the issue public, accusing the studio of identity policing, and turning interviews into battlegrounds. Was she standing up for herself? Maybe. But she was also building a reputation. Unpredictable, combative, and always ready to go to war, even with her own team. After West Side Story, Disney gave her the keys to the castle. Literally. Rachel Zegler was cast as Snow White in Disney's live-action reboot, a role that should have been her redemption arc. But instead of leaning into the magic of the classic, she set it on fire. She trashed the original 1937 film in interviews, calling it weird, creepy, and outdated. She laughed off the idea of romance, mocked the concept of a woman being saved by a prince, and she did it all while promoting the movie that was supposed to honor that legacy. Fans didn't just roll their eyes, they were furious. The internet lit up with backlash. Memes exploded. Disney loyalists turned on her, and the movie hadn't even come out yet. The numbers don't lie. Snow White cost Disney nearly $300 million to make, and it barely scraped in under $200 million globally. For a studio like Disney, that's a catastrophe. Insiders say the film's failure forced Disney to hit pause on several other live-action projects. And guess who they blamed? Rachel Zegler wasn't just the face of the film, she became the face of the backlash. Her interviews were dissected, mocked, and memed into oblivion. And Disney's worst fears were confirmed. She had alienated the very audience the movie was made for. But the real drama wasn't just in the press, it was behind the camera. Sources say the set of Snow White was a political minefield. Tensions between cast members ran high. Crew members reportedly felt caught in the middle, with arguments about identity, gender, and representation spilling over from interviews into the workplace. Disney scrambled to keep things contained. Press tours were carefully scripted, cast members were kept apart, and some scenes were allegedly reshot to avoid interactions between key stars. It was damage control on every level, and the cracks were starting to show. Instead of walking back her comments, Rachel leaned in. She kept doubling down in interviews, smug, dismissive, even sarcastic, as if she was above the criticism. TikTok creators racked up millions of views, tearing her down. YouTube channels turned her into the punchline of every commentary video. It wasn't just bad PR, it was a full-blown cultural rejection. She had become the symbol of everything audiences were starting to resent about modern Hollywood: preachy, disconnected, and unwilling to entertain without lecturing. And just like that, the fairy tale ended. Spielberg was out. Disney was distancing. Executives were whispering that she'd become too risky to lead major projects. And audiences? They'd made their decision with their wallets and their views. The studios gave her everything: prestige, power, a platform. But Zegler didn't just fumble the bag, she set it on fire. Because here's the hard truth: Hollywood doesn't care how talented you are if you burn every bridge on your way up. Fans don't forgive stars who mock them, and directors don't forget the actors who make their lives hell. Rachel Zegler's story isn't just about a flop. It's a reminder that in an industry built on fantasy, one thing is always real: your reputation. And right now, hers is shattered. Thanks for watching Celeb Wire. We can't wait to see you in our next video. Till then, remember to keep your eyes on the stars